Yo, what's good everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to know when to sell your meme coins so you don't end up round tripping your whole entire profits, right? This is something that all of us do. This is something that I do. This is something that everybody does, right? Now, if you're able to go in with a way better strategy and a way better mindset, then you're going to be able to do this 10 times better, because a lot of the time you guys do get good entries on coins. We all get decent entries on coins, but we don't know when to sell, and we end up losing all of our profit, right? So if you're able to not just learn how to time your buys correctly, right, but if you know how to time your sells, you're going to be able to actually be profitable, right? This is why most people are not able to be profitable. First of all, because you have the one sector of people that are just straight up gamblers, right? They have zero risk management. They don't know what they're doing. And you have the other sector where people are starting to get it, but they don't know how to exit the coin, right? They're starting to get in at the right time, but they don't know how to get out. They don't know where the coin can go. And this is super, super, super important. Now, the first thing is obviously, yes, you need to put in the hours. You kind of need to start getting a feeling for what kind of coin send. But in this video, I'm going to be kind of cutting that down so you don't have to put in way, way, way more hours than you already need to. I'll kind of break down my thesis on how you should be playing this out to maximize your profits, of course, too, because you don't want to be a G. So going off with this first coin, right? How would I play this out? So this live coin, let's see if this is actually real. Let's see if this is actually for real.
On TikTok, that shit fuck.
Okay, so it looks like it's real. Maybe, right? I haven't really done too much research onto it. So let's say you guys bought around 20K market cap. You don't want to be looking at like how much Solana you're up, how much money you're up, because that's going to completely distort how to properly sell, right? So obviously this thing's dumping right now, right? So you have to be careful with these. Also, one thing I wanted to add, a little bit sidetracked, but with these live coins, every time you buy into them, put an advanced sell for dev sell 100%, so that if they do dev sell, you're watching stream or whatever, it will get you at the millisecond that they dev sell. That way, you know, even faster than like a human can, right? So you'll be like one of the first ones to get out if they do decide to rug the coin. Now, going back to where we were, how do we know when to sell? Well, you have to understand, first of all, psychology, right? This is going to be the most important part. This is the part that I'm going to be putting in first, is psychology, right? Everything, we all have psychological zones, right? People can make fun of technical analysis, etc. But the thing is, if let's say technical analysis is fake, right, etc. But if enough people do believe in it and they trade off of technical analysis, they trade off of support and resistance, it does make it real. It makes it into existence, right? It's like I'm trying to find a good analogy, but you guys know what I'm trying to say, right? If enough people believe in something, and they let's say enough people, let me think, enough people believe in, you know, like doing something, like say like let me think, like taking a hoe or shovel to the dirt, right, will make it more aerated for plants, and enough people do it, like, and eventually becomes into existence. I know that's like a horrible analogy, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So if enough people trade off of, oh, I'm gonna bid on the support at like 100K or whatever, right, then it eventually just becomes a support, even if it's not a true term or whatever, right? It just becomes something true instead of a fallacy, because people eventually put that into their own trading style, which means trading it into existence, right? Now, not everybody trades off of support and resistance, of course. So you have to take the technical side as well as the psychological side. So what's one of the biggest psychological zones for meme coins, right? We're not going to talk about like shorting Nvidia stock. No, we're going to talk just about meme coins. Well, one of the biggest ones is about migration. Typically with most coins, they do have a migration dip. This one had a migration dip, but it wasn't very big. It went from, it's crazy to see migration at 100K now. I'm not going to lie. Like Solana is going crazy, but typically you see from, 100 or, oh man, it used to be like, okay, I said that already, but it's just wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, reminds me of November. We just need the volume of November again. But yeah, you see these, typically migration dips, and it is actually decent strategy to buy off these migration dips if it is a good coin. But usually you want to see a way bigger dip and then start scalping it up. But migration is going to be one of them. Another one, when a coin's at a very low market cap, is around 20K, right? And it's very simple. Ones, let me even draw it out on the chart right here. Ones, fives, and tens. This is what you're looking for, right? Let me put a comma so I can separate them. Ones, fives, and tens, right? So that could be 10K, 100K, a million market cap, 10 million market cap, or 50K, right? 500K, half a million, I said half a billion market cap, right? These are going to be, resistance or support. The only difference between resistance and supports, right? You could draw the same line. So for example, a support we could draw at 50K, right? And it held it beautifully, right? And we could see if it's come down to that level. Let's see here. It went down to here and it broke, right? So if a coin is below this number, this would be a resistance. If it can break past it, there's going to be a lot more upside pressure, right? It's going to be like breaking free of handcuffs. Now, the same thing goes with when people are selling. If it breaks through this support, right, which it did right here, it starts dumping super, 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 super hard. You know what? Is that floor? Let me see if there's... Oh, wait, we got a 15% insider. It's a little bit sketch. Not going to lie. What is this? Send evidence... Thing is, yeah, there's just no volume. So, like, this is something I wouldn't scalp. Yes, it looks like a pretty good dip, but, like, the volume is slow, right? It's slow. Usually you want to see... Sorry. Usually you want to see, like, people kind of, reviving the dip, right? It doesn't have to be all the way back up to all-time high. But, like, for example, something like this. It dips from 90... all the way down, and you start seeing a revival. With this, it just looks like it's straight up dead, right? Maybe it might get a little bit of a dead cat bounce, right? Maybe up like that and then goes down like that. But for this, it's not really something worth trading, my opinion. Now, like you could see, it held this line, and the bigger the market cap, obviously the more it applies, but psychological is super, 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 super important. And how to know when to sell. Well, typically you guys see when, I'll move the thing a little bit, but typically you guys see when these big buys come in, like for example, went all the way from 105 all the way to 140. Most people are going to want to sell on these candles, right? Like 90% of the time. So you should as well, right? You shouldn't be trying to be like a moon boy trying to think, oh, it's going to go to Valhalla, unless it's something that's super, super, super crazy. And you have to think like everybody else, and you not just think like everybody else, but you want to in chat, you want to like make your move before they do. You want to be quicker than they are, right? So instead of waiting for migration to sell, right? Let me find a better example. Maybe this coin. Nope, that's a red coin. Let's see this one. Trying to find a good coin. Let's see this coin here. Nope. Let's look at Bob. I'm trying to find one with a nice migration dip. But typically, let's see. Find another one. What's this one? Nope. Holy rugs, bro. It's like rug Chato, maybe? Another rug. You could tell this is a fake coin just by like the chart. One candle up. Super, super fake volume. Don't try to sneak in the bundle on these because they will rug you eventually and you will get super cooked. What's this one right here? Oh, it's just fried coins right now. But typically, you want to try to front run people, right? If everybody tries to sell a migration, sell like, say migration is at 100K right now, right? 99K, let's say it's 100K. Sell your coin at 90K right before migration. And then you could buy the dip on the migration dip, right? To scalp it again if you want to do that. Don't be trying to go like everybody else, waiting for that perfect migration sell. And, don't be like everybody else waiting for these tracked wallets to buy. Don't wait for someone to buy in order for you to buy. Wait for them to sell in order to confirm your buy. But wait for the coin, if it's an actual good coin. If it's just a coin that you don't know about, right? Let's look at Meme. It looks like it's probably been done a bunch of times. If they sell on a coin and it's been done 100 times, then don't buy, right? But typically you want to wait for an entry if it's a bunch of tracked wallets buying. But yeah, realistically, it's all about psychology. And if you guys start to understand the way other traders kind of think, you're going to be able to front run their decisions on coins, right? Because a lot of people just wait for these wallets right here, these tracked wallets to buy something in order to confirm, their own buy. So it's basically copy trading, but they like to see other people in before, which if you can get in before they do, right? If you think like they do, then you're gonna be able to get in and you're gonna be able to get out before they do, right? So it's really, it's a lot of it is muscle memory. A lot of it does take time to learn, but it also is just about strategy, right? And you can use tools like RSI, right? I think RSI is an amazing tool. Looks like they're vamping this one, so it looks like the other one died. RSI is a very, very, very good way to help you find overbought and oversold. Boom. So we could see coin. Thing is, we got some tracked wallets that top blasted. So ideally, you don't want to get in over them. You want to either get in close to their entry or below their entry, right? So, ooh, that would have been a crazy dip. Let's see. Casino sold. Some of his copy traders might sell. And who else do we have in here? Looks like, was this Danny? Looks like Danny sold maybe down to 20, or is it just going to revive? There is some decent bundles. That's the only thing I don't like about this. So it's like Meme, but in Chinese version with WeChat. So it's like a WeChat tweet. So this actually, okay, WeChat might be decent because if this is the official one, because WeChat is like the main messaging app, I believe, in China. It's like, you know, like the Telegram over there that they use kind of. But there is a decent amount of bundles. You can tell there is some big holders too, 4%, which is not ideal. Ooh, we have a bad cluster right here. Actually, it's not too bad. Let me see, but they're not like ideal. But let's see what happens. Let's just watch this. Maybe we can, so 1 to 40. And you can see, like, look, like I said, 1 5s and 10s. Look at where it topped, 50K, right? So that's how you know I'm not capping. Like, it's like, that's just how it works. Now, yes, it can break through 50, of course, but there's sell pressure here. You know, people get scared. It goes all the way down, right? So I tell you, look for dips, 40 to 60% dips, and it hit that 40 to 60% area. I give you 40 to 60% because you're not always going to get it down perfectly, but it gives you a little bit of leeway in order to buy, right? So instead of trying to scalp these, like, you know, super fake rug coins, this is something that's probably worth scalping. Just wait for the bundles to kind of chill out a little bit. And what you're waiting for on this coin is waiting for it to break. It's almost there. Dang, this guy just bought and sold. Was he in here before? Like, what did he do? Nope. It's just mass extracting. I mean, I don't see what the point of that was. He didn't even make money. It's weird. But yeah, you can see it's struggling a little bit here. If it's able to break this 50K, it's gonna have a lot more room to breathe. But this is where people are looking to sell, either at its last all-time high or, you know, at this resistance level at 50K. And if it hits it again and rejects, you would likely just see it come all the way back down to where it was here. Right now, obviously, it's not going to be like perfect, right? We're trading meme coins here, and these move super, super, super fast, and it's attention based. But if you can look at it through this point of view, you're gonna be able to take like way, way, way better trades. And I'm just saying, okay, looks like Banana. Wait, what was his name again? Publix. Like he bought, and let's see if he either keeps the coin alive. I think all the bigger KOLs are out. It looks like it just broke. You can see when it breaks, it gets a good amount of motion. But like typically, like with right now, you're just going to be patient and just sit. It looks like Casino bought, all of his copy traders bought. So like, yeah, when it breaks these zones, it usually flies. But it goes the same way, the other way around. If it breaks a support, if it were to go back down to 50 and break below 50, it's going to fly downwards, right? Because it's just how people think. People get scared when they see it go past something like that. Even if they trade, you know, off of technical analysis, etc., that's just basically psychology, right? Technical analysis is pretty much based off of psychology. It's based off of where people psychologically think where people psychologically are most likely to sell and where people are psychologically most likely to buy, right? That's where you get overbought and oversold. And a really good indicator, like I said, to use is RSI to understand. Like, look, it gave us it gave us a really good oversold signal right here. And then for overbought, we got an overbought signal right here. So that would have been all the way from 20K to 50K. So it's like over 100%. Now let me take this out. Let's remove drawings. And let's just see what happens here. So it looks like it's holding on that. Nope, just broke its 50K. You can see it's kind of getting dumped downward. So I think we still have Publix in this. Casino sold. Ideally, you want these big KOLs to kind of get out before you look to scalp it, because you don't want to get dumped on them, right? So it looks like he finally sold. And yeah, it looks like it might be, so, I don't know, I want to see it come down a tiny bit more. Went up to 70, maybe down to like 30. Or it could hold this. It could hold this. Yeah, it might hold this, honestly. We'll see. If it doesn't, then we could also DCA, but just have to be careful because I still think there is a couple bundles in here, but let's see. What I don't like to see is it just sitting here because typically people do get scared, and then they'll just push the price even lower. You want to see like people starting to bid the price up quickly. So you can see it's starting to get motion right now. Maybe if it goes up to like 50, we'll sell it. Just give me like one nice candle. There we go. We'll take that. See? And boom, 0.26. So thing is, like, I only did that with one sold just to show you guys, but you can, if you do it with two sold, that would have been 0.5, right? And it's really just like, you know, the good thing is I sold the resistance, right? So at 50K, that's where most people are probably going to sell. I mean, like if it's going to, like say if it does break it, then yes, it's going to probably fly again. But, you know, you're buying, it's basically buying low and selling high. But like, I guess a couple other steps. Let's see, maybe it comes down a little bit more, down to 30. You just have to be careful, right? Because there is some bundles in here, so they can cook the chart. Like we had another bundle. You see how this is like the same amount of Solana buy, but they bought like instantly. So it's like this guy just bought 7 SOL, but on 2 different wallets. Actually, no, he probably bought like 9 SOL, right, with this wallet included. So another bundle's coming in. But yeah, it finally broke up that 50K. So now 50K is holding its support, right? We'll see if it actually holds. So it looks like it's holding, right? So you don't really want to be playing in this zone of 50K, right? You don't want to be buying within the zone because that's so risky, right? Neither do you want to be buying on migration zone, which is like around here, like which is around 100K, right? You don't want to be buying within this zone. If it hits migration, let's say migration happens right here, I'll draw M. Wait for it to go down to like 70K, 60K, then you can scalp it. But that's literally all this is about psychology, right? But you have to do this on coins that are like decently funny, I guess, right? At least somewhat, so that it's tradable, so that you're able to use your strategy and trade on it. If it's not a tradable coin, if it's you know, if it's a rug coin or if it's a coin that's slowly dying out, you see this thing has momentum, right? This thing has opportunities where, oh, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, and you can replicate it, right? If it's a coin that's slowly dying out, like, you know, let's say it's like, oh, like this. Oh, let me do like this, and then it comes up a tiny bit, goes down. There's literally no point of trading that. It's just a dying coin, and the R&R, right? The risk versus reward is completely not in your favor. So I wouldn't trade something like that, right? That's just me personally. Now let's see if this, because another support is around like this level right here. So we'll see if it breaks through, and it did. Wow, now it's getting dumped. That might have been a decent scalp. I kind of wanted to see it to go a little bit lower. It might be entry though. That might have been entry, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see it go at least down to like 24 maybe, but you guys can see another thing too I wanted to say is it's like a snowball effect. When it goes down really hard like that and you see one green candle, it can kind of cause like a snowball effect for other people to FOMO in, which is like another thing to note. Let's see, all the way from 60. I mean, technically, yeah, it's an all right entry, but I kind of want to see like 24, 22 from like this low right here. Let's see. Let's see. Because right now you can maybe get some some of those weird bundle buys, but yeah, like literally what I just said, some of those weird bundle buys, but I just was kind of waiting for a little bit of a bigger dips to have some more confirmation. But yeah, that's kind of like how, you know, I showed you guys exactly how to enter. This video was originally just supposed to be on like how to know when to exit coins, which I showed you, right? Now it looks like Casino's back in. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with this, but yeah, it was originally supposed to be on like how to know when to enter in coins, when to know when to sell, but I showed you guys kind of how to enter in coins because that's obviously super important too. But yeah, if you guys can combine these both together, obviously. Oh wait, hold on. Casino sold. Does this go down to 20 maybe, per chance? one thing we got to be careful for is the bundles. Or are they just gonna like consolidate this forever? Okay, 4 soul sell. Wait, how many? 3% holder. Those 2 Binance wallets could be bundles though, so it could be maybe 6%. Kind of want to see a little bit of a bigger correction though. I don't know. I mean, went up to 46. 20. I mean, that technically would be a support right here, but it almost tagged it, so it's, I don't know. I mean, from what I'm thinking, I'd want to see something a little bit deeper, but yeah, like another one of those weird bundle buys caught in. But they're really nice to sell on, but you don't want to buy over those. But yeah, I know the video is going to be a little bit longer, but if that helped you guys understand it, maybe visually, just kind of seeing that trade. It wasn't a crazy trade. It's just, you know, a little scalp, just in and out of a coin, right? But when you stack those consistently, you do 10, 20 of those a day. Boom. That's like, you know, 4 soul, 3 soul, easy. And yeah, obviously that's just with one Solana. If you do 2 soul trades, 3 soul trades, you're gonna be able to make way more. But yeah, if you guys like this kind of content, if you guys like these kind of videos, feel free to like that smash button, of course, and make sure you guys are in the Discord, right? This is where I personally am in like all the time. Not to be like a Discord mod or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that's where I'm at. That's where the whole community is. And everybody in there wants to make money, right? So if you guys want to get surrounded with like-minded people and trade with like-minded people, and if you guys are new, want to learn, or you're experienced and just want to have a good community, I highly recommend it. It's free. I also do have a VIP section to the server where you guys can personally learn from me, right? I have courses as well as other really good traders, and it's literally the price of lunch money for the week. So I mean, it's like a no-brainer in my opinion. But yeah, if you guys like that video, of course, just, you know, make sure you guys smash that like button, of course. Another weird bundle buy, but also if you just drop a comment and, you know, just the usual. But yeah, with that done, thank you for watching.